Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Slow Flow, Gentle Flow, Yin and Restorative Yoga. So make sure that you have all the props that I have here or something like them. 2 yoga blocks, a pillow or several pillows, a strap, we will be using that at the start, and a blanket or a beach towel that you can roll up. So for those of us in the US, it is election day. I wanted to pull out a few quotes to share with you. And this one's by Abraham Lincoln in the 1860 election. We are not enemies, but friends. We must not be enemies. Though passion may have strained, it must not break the bonds of affection. The mystic chords of memory will swell when again touched, as surely they will be by the better angels of our nature. Saul David Ray, renowned yoga instructor. None among us can claim to know exactly what is happening right now. And none can claim to know the cosmic plan unfolding on Earth. And all you do, stay connected to the power of love. Love is stronger than fear. There is always a deeper truth to the reality of this world. Stay connected to your inner guidance and show up in the way you are guided to show up. That's it. By Marianne Williamson. Everything we do is infused with the energy with which we do it. If we're frantic, life will be frantic. If we're peaceful, life will be peaceful. And so our goal in any situation becomes inner peace. By Rumi, the great poet. Love is from the infinite, and it will remain so until eternity. The seeker of love escapes the chains of birth and death. And finally, by Julie Holly. I find that when I express myself from the heart, not only does it provide the opportunity to stand in my ultimate truth, but it provides the space for others to also stand in theirs. So what does it mean to act, to speak from the heart? As you ground in any way that you're choosing to sit now, I invite you to close your eyes so that the external stimuli around you begins to fade into the further background. And into your foreground is your breath, your body, your awareness. Sit in stillness a moment to just pay more attention to what is within us right now, present in our bodies, minds, and hearts. Allow your breath to deepen. Take a few breaths out to your mouth. Perhaps unpacking through a few big sighs. invite you to place your left hand at the center of your chest, the general location of your heart energy center. Place your right hand to stack over the left, just bringing more attention there, as you might allow a moment to ask your heart what it needs in this hour, right now. Using the vibration of sound to feel both giving and receiving in this community we're gathered in tonight. Let's chant one Om together. Take a deep inhale. Feel the soothing resonance of that sound. Feeling the connection of those that you're sharing space with. Though from afar physically, knowing that our spirit knows no boundaries. We're going to dive into a simple breath practice called Samavriti Pranayama. We inhale for a count of 4, filling up the lungs. We'll hold the breath in for a count of 4, relaxing the body. And we'll exhale either through the nose or the mouth, whichever you prefer, for a count of 4. And we'll hold the breath out for a count of 4. You might like to rest your hands in your lap. Maybe bring the thumb and first finger to touch to help focus. Perhaps keeping your eyes closed. Sit tall. Your body feel relaxed. Empty this breath. Then hold it out. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Try one more round on your own counts. When you finish, relax into your natural breathing and observe how you feel. Let's continue with Ujjayi Pranayama, which also helps relax the mind and body, the nervous system, while steadying your mind to attend to the present. It's done by sustaining your breath with your mouth closed, in and out through your nose. At the same time, gently constrict the back of your throat to invite a soft whisper that you could hear, making it smooth and gently audible. So the sound serves to help you track the balanced quality of your breathing. And it's sort of a mind massage, I perceive it, as it creates that soothing sound of the ocean waves, evenly rising and falling. So as you listen to your own breathing, gently open your eyes. And let's begin in a seated spinal twist, a moving twist. Start to warm up. If you've been crossing your legs, I invite you to switch the leg that's forward or on top just to even out your hips. As you firm down through the left and right sides of your pelvis, lift up your rib cage, and you might even do what I'm doing, which is holding them, trying to lift from the lowest ribs, especially in the back. You feel this counter force of rooting down and lifting the rib cage, stretching the lower back and gently firming in the belly. And now keep sitting tall and maybe even shrug your shoulders as you're trying to lengthen the sides of your torso. Take a deep breath and then roll the shoulders slightly behind your ears and down, but keep lifting up to your crown. Now as you inhale, raise your arms overhead, wrap the triceps slightly forward, relax the shoulders down, and then keep your pelvis still as you exhale. Twist at your waistline to your left and lower your hands as far to your left onto the ground of your legs. Maybe looking over your left shoulder if it feels okay on your neck. Then inhale, raise your arms, turn back to center. Then exhale, twist to the other side, lower your hands, and maybe look behind you. Let's take a few more rounds of the breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, and twist. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. At your own pace, try 2 more on each side. Breathing in, breathing out. Gently bringing mobility in the spine, stability in the lower back. As we gently wring out any tension along the spine. I think I'm doing an extra one. So when you finish, evenly on both sides, come back to center. Now let's set up to hold a twist by extending your left leg forward. Step your right foot on the ground just in front of your right hip. Hold on to that shin for a moment and press into the earth with that right foot. Flex your left toes, I'm mirroring you. And then backstroke your right hand behind your pelvis. Raise your left arm up. Again, press down through both sides of your pelvis. Lift through the center line of your body. And as you exhale, use your obliques, your twisting muscles first to twist. Then either hold on to that shin again with your left hand, or eventually hook your left elbow outside of your right thigh if you're feeling it's appropriate right now to add leverage. Feel that the crown of your head remains stacked above your tailbone. And if it's not, make any adjustment to your left arm. You might have to back off and hold the shin if you're hooking the elbow. Now feel the space between both of your ears and both of your shoulders. Feel the space between your chin and your sternum, middle of your chest. And feel the space along the back of your neck. And one more, feel the space between your eyebrows. Is there any tension there? One more breath in. And as you exhale, unwind your spine. So let's bring the sole of your right foot high onto your inner left thigh. Keep flexing your left foot and grab your strap. The ball of your left foot into the loop or the middle of the strap. We're gonna add a twist in head to knee pose. So hold the strap in your right hand. Place your left hand outside of your left hip and then press downward to lift upward. Twist to your left, so you're still using your obliques here, and then hinge from your hips so your sternum is aimed towards the upper left corner of your room. Taking your time so that as you breathe in, Be firm down through both hips, especially your right sitting bone, while lengthening your spine diagonally forward. And as you breathe out, perhaps hinging a little deeper, lift your belly slightly in support of lengthening your lower back. Your shoulder blades release down your back. We're not going to be here too long, like our restorative posture. Just 3 last breaths in Parita Janu Shirshasana. We fall head down. Now lifting from your sternum, as you breathe in, slowly rise up. Put the strap aside for now. Set it for a seated twist. Extend your right leg forward. Step your left foot just in front of the hip. Hold on to that shin with both hands and just allow a few breaths to set up a little dog party in here. So ground your sitting bones, lift up to your crown, and then backstroke your left hand behind your right arm up, inhale, lift. First, obliques as you exhale to twist. Then either lower your right hand onto your left shin or gradually hook your right elbow outside of your left thigh. But then notice if there's any adjustments. As you observe the quality or the sound, and feel the qualities you are transferring to how you slowly unwind. Let's drop the left knee open. Bring the sole of your left foot high on your inner right thigh. Step the ball of your right foot into the loop or middle of the strap as you continue to flex that foot. Hold the strap in your left hand and place your right hand on the ground outside of your right hip. Sit up a little taller as you breathe in, and then twist to your right, hinge diagonally towards the upper right corner of your room. Pausing each time you breathe in, reground both of your sitting bones, especially the left, and lengthen your spine forward from your sacrum, from your pelvis. And as you fold a little deeper, slightly lift your belly towards your back to support it. So, physical practice of yoga, what does it mean for you to practice from the heart? To practice with love. Observing the energy of your actions here. Take 3 more deep breaths and revolved head to knee pose. And when you're ready, breathing in, Lead with your chest to slowly rise up. Let's take the strap and we're gonna warm up the shoulders. So if you don't have knee issues, I invite you to sit in some form of Virasana or Hero's Pose. That's either using your blocks, your folded towel, or pillow in between your ankles. This is the supported version. And having your knees forward no wider than your hips distance. Toes are pointing back rather than turning out the feet to keep the knees safe. And the higher the prop is that you're sitting on, the less your knees have to bend. So that adds more support if you need that. And if this is not comfortable at all, you could either stand on your knees or just have your legs in front of you. But be comfortable, we're gonna be here for a bit in this movement. And then take your strap and hold it between your hands so that your hands are wider than shoulders distance. Have a taut grip so the strap isn't loose like this. It's a straight line. And then relax your shoulders back and down, lifting through the sides of your neck as you sit tall, belly slightly engaged. Now, as you inhale, raise your arms overhead, making sure the shoulders don't rise. If you do, you might need to step your wider apart. As you exhale, lower your arms all the way behind you and down. So adjust the spacing between your hands. You could do this a few times. Inhale your arms up, shoulders remain low. Exhale, forward and down. And just at your own pace of breath, nice and slow. Breathe in to lift. Breathe out to lower. Keep going, several more. When you lift your arms overhead, notice if your front ribs protrude more forward. If that's happening, consciously seal in the bottom of your front ribs towards your back body and down towards your pubic bone, so as not to overarch and compress your lower back. Now, if your shoulders are feeling a little warmer and this has become quite easy for you, you might bring your hands a little closer together to add more depth. We're going for about 5 more cycles of breath. And finishing this breath, put the strap aside, and let's set up for Gomukhasana, which will open up the outer hips and thighs and the shoulders. So you may want to sit on a thinner prop or just the ground. You can decide as we're setting up the legs what you might find more useful. Left leg forward, and then take your right thigh, cross it over your left thigh. Just a moment, I'm gonna warm just a little bit more before we set this up. Before we do that, bend your knees, separate your feet wider than hips distance. Almost forgot this part. Separate your knees just as wide apart as your feet. Hands are behind you so that you can try to sit tall. And then we're just gonna windshield wiper the shins, both to the left, both to the right. And do it with your breath like a vinyasa flow. Breathe in to one side. Breathe out to the other side. You might have to lean further back so that adjust what's comfortable as you're moving your legs. So just a few more cycles of breath. Finish one more on each side. And then once with that, now let's set up for Gomukhasana. So extend your left leg forward, take your right thigh and cross it over the left as much as you can. So here, if you're feeling like you're tilting off to one side, it can help to sit on a prop and to sit towards the front edge of that prop so your pelvis can tilt slightly forward and you can be more upright. Now you can keep your left leg straight, or in the full expression of the posture, you bend both knees and splay both feet apart. But do what allows you to feel grounded evenly and to be able to sit tall. Now the arms. So the right leg is on top. Hold the strap in your left hand. Angle the tail behind your back. And then with the help of your right hand, rotate the outer side of your left upper arm, which is your tricep, slightly forward to broaden across the top of your left shoulder. Then guide your elbow behind the center of your head so that your left palm lands between your shoulder blades. Pressing both shoulders down, bring your right arm behind you, grab the bottom end of the strap, and then walk your hands as close together as you can. You might be able to clasp your fingers and let go of the strap. And then notice if the front ribs are protruding forward here. Seal them in, left and right sides of your pelvis. Feel back each vertebra of your spine from the bottom and up to the crown. As you lift your chin parallel to the ground, slide your chin softly towards the back of your throat and lift through the back of your skull. Now take a deep inhale and broaden your collarbones apart. With a slight lift in your chest, exhale, hinge forward just a little bit from your hips. Pausing as you inhale to firm down to your pelvis and continue to lengthen your spine from it. Perhaps you fold deeper as you exhale. Let's venture into whatever depth the side of cow face pose offers you in your body for about 10 more breaths. On your next inhale, start to lead from your chest. Rise up and release your arms, release your legs. Rotating your feet in both directions and rotating your shoulders if you can do that simultaneously. Backwards and forward. Feel your breathing. All right, side two. So left thigh over the right as much as you can to hug your midline. Either keeping your bottom leg straight, and it might be different on this side of your hips, or your bottom knee and splaying your feet apart. Now take the strap in your right hand. Your left leg is on top. Dangle the strap behind you and rotate your right tricep slightly to face forward. Bend the elbow behind your head and land your right palm between your shoulder blades. Press both of your shoulders down and reach your left hand underneath to grab the other end of the strap. Walk your hands as close together as you can, and maybe they clasp. As you firm down to your sitting bones, imagine you could restack from the bottom up each vertebra of your spine up to the crown of your head. As you exhale, you might begin to fold from your hips, taking your time, each breath incrementally. Observe the space throughout all the sides of your neck. About 10 more breaths here. in Gomukhasana. With your next inhale, lead with your chest to rise up. Release your arms, release your legs. And add any movement, like rolling your thighs inward and outward. Perhaps gently turning your head side to side or up and down. Or maybe a soft circling of your head. To some gentle movement in cat-cow pose. Come on down to your hands and knees. And if you'd like to offer your wrists a stretch while we do this, try spinning out your hands as your palms are face down. To whatever degree, turning your fingertips towards the outer edges of your mat or maybe towards your knees. So have your wrists basically under your shoulders, but have your knees slightly behind your hips, letting your torso have space to move around. As you breathe in, glide your spine forward, then roll your shoulders back to coil your chest up into cow pose. As you breathe out, contract your belly, look down between your knees, and tuck your tailbone underneath, rounding into cat pose. Continue for several more slow cycles of breath. Visualize each vertebra in motion. As you're lubricating the joints of your spine, creating the feeling of flow and fluidity to affect your center and center line of stability. Now, if you're looking for more of a lower back stretch, you could tuck your toes behind you when you round your back and perhaps stay in cat pose with a rounded back for a few breaths. Using each exhalation to lift the navel higher up towards the back, offering a deeper stretch into the lower back. Now, when you're finished with your cat-cows, let's come back to our legs. Put the weight back on your legs so we can stretch the wrists a different way. Making fists out of your hands. Press your fists gently into each other, and then lean the backs of your fists against the ground so that your elbows are lifted and bent apart. Slowly shift your weight forward to adjust the amount of weight you want to lean into your outer wrists for a stretch. Notice that you're not adding any more tension into the neck and shoulders, the face, or your breath. Perhaps you even make some faces to stretch your face, like moving the jaw or fluttering the lips, especially if you notice that you tend to carry tension in your jaw. perhaps a couple of lion's breaths too, or you inhale through the nose. Stick your tongue out with your mouth wide as you exhale to your mouth. Eyes wide open and cross too. Great stress relieving pranayama or breath work. Then when you're done with that, shake out your hands gently or put your hands at your wrists. Let's take our 2 blocks, set them up in front, and we'll give our lats and shoulders a bit more stretch. So you can decide the height that you want to place the blocks. A nice middle point is the medium height, the second level. So this is the lowest, second, and the highest. And it seems to be also very stable. If you create a number 11 out of the blocks like this, you want to have your blocks your shoulders distance apart so that you can put your elbow, oh, this is the lowest, medium, there we go, on the center of each block. And then here, slightly behind your hips, again, to give your torso more space. Press your fingertips into each other so that you hollow the center of your palms, and trace your thumbs down the back of your skull towards the back of your neck while allowing your head to drop, your chest or your heart to sink closer to the earth. Feel how your armpits hollow and slightly lift away from the ground. Now, as you would do in downward dog, or as we did in cow face pose, rotate your triceps downward towards the floor to help broaden across your shoulders. And use the pressure of your arms against the blocks to slide your shoulder blades further back and away from your neck. Now notice your belly here it's being lax. It may cause tension in the lower spine, so slightly lift your belly, engage it slightly, and think of lengthening your tailbone further behind you, pressing your sitting bones towards your rear wall. Take a deep breath into the sides of your rib cage. And feel those areas soften as you breathe out. Now from your outer hips to your armpits, take another deep breath, lengthening the sides of your torso. And feel those areas also soften as you breathe out. Now notice from your ears to your shoulders, the sides of your neck. Imagine you could breathe into there. And then soften those areas as you breathe out. Taking about 5 more breaths. Are there any parts of your body asking for a breath massage? Where you could breathe into, visualizing creating more space. And breathe out from, feeling a softening, an unwinding, a surrender.
Protect me, open my heart, and I'll be free. I'll be free. Protect me, open my heart, and I'll be free. I'll be free.
Let's finish this last breath here, so that at the bottom of your exhale, you can hollow your belly and lift your torso back to hands and knees, putting the blocks aside. So from here, lower your pelvis to your feet in child's pose, but extend your arms actively forward. We're going to move into a lateral stretch, just a few breaths. So as you keep your pelvis low towards your feet, heart close to the earth, crawl your hands over to your right side, reaching outside of your mat. Feel the left side of your torso lengthening.
Protect me, open my heart,
Let's take one more deep breath here. And at the end of it, slowly crawl your hands to your mat and gradually off to your left side. Allow your right side body to lengthen. Let's take one more deep breath. Then crawl your hands through center, back towards your knees, and tuck your chin towards your chest as you breathe in to slowly line upright. All right, we're going to set up for a spinal twist, a restorative spinal twist that will be in for a few minutes. So grab your two blocks and place them just like a platform on the lowest height like this. And let's put the pillow right on top, just like that. Now, you might decide when you're in it that you want the blocks to be higher. You want the pillow to support you higher away from the ground. Then you could adjust the blocks maybe to the next level height. Let's start here. And then have a seat so your pillow is tracing the midline of your mat, facing the front of your mat. Have a seat with your left hip flush against the rear edge of the pillow, left hip. So your knees are bent towards the right side of your mat. And as your knees are bent here, like you're sitting like a mermaid on a rock, you're gonna slide your right leg a little further back towards the midline of your mat so that your left heel can actually touch the very top of your right thigh, just above your knee. Left heel in contact with your right thigh, just above your right knee. And that's gonna add a little more leverage for a lower back release. So you're kind of sitting sideways here, and then place your left and right hands on the left and right sides of the pillow, framing it. Turn your chest completely to face the front of your mat. So make any adjustments in your lower body so that you can do that. And then begin to land your belly on the pillow. Now, this is where you might adjust the height of the blocks. If it feels like the pillow's too low, then you could lift it and make the blocks perhaps an equal sign on the medium height or even higher. You might also bring the blocks closer to you. And then you can take your time here as your hands are on both sides on the ground. You could turn your head to your right side, which is the direction that your knees are pointing. That's a milder version. Or turn your head to your left side, which will bring the twist up to your cervical spine even deeper. Now I'm going to set the timer for just 2 more minutes before we switch sides. Take your time. If you're feeling like your pillow is way too low and you're not even able to lean on it, you might grab your blanket and your other pillows and stack them as high as you need so that you're hugging something. And as you're getting comfortable, allowing your body to relax into the support of the props. You might like to close your eyes and slowly scan your body mentally. Notice how your feet feel here. Are your ankles, the muscles around them engaging in any way? If so, give them permission to relax. might do the same for each part of your body as you scan upwards towards the top of your head, observing if there's any effort or engagement that you could give permission to let go of. All right, allow another breath in this position before you start to move out. And when you finish that breath, very slowly plant your hands on the floor. Let your head be heavy as you gently lift your body off of the props. And when you come all the way up to sit, just bring you might turn to face the rear of your mat and have your back of your pelvis against the rear edge of that pillow. And then with your knees bent, feet on the ground, drop your knees to the opposite side of your mat, which will be towards your left wall, and place your right heel to touch your left thigh just above your left knee. Right heel gently pressing against your left thigh, just above your left knee. And feel that your right hip is flush against the rear edge of the pillow. Place your two hands to frame the left and right sides of the pillow. Then turn your chest completely to face the front of your mat, making any adjustments from your pelvis to your feet so that you can comfortably do that. And then take your time lowering your body onto the pillow, maybe adjusting the height of the blocks underneath or adding more props on top of the pillow. I'm gonna set the timer for another 2 minutes here. So I invite you to turn your head in the opposite direction as you were on the first side, if that's available. Reconnect with the sound of your breathing, noticing its qualities, and how your mind and body are aligning to those qualities that you're infusing through your breath. So we're in a twisted position here. Can you still feel the fullness of your breaths? Know that in yoga postures, spinal twists offer release of stagnancy, release of blocked energy, to continue flowing again. And that also affects digestive flow, the deeper you are in the twist. So imagine your breath like a river, purifying and enabling flow and release. The breath out, bringing with it any residue of tension that you no longer need. So finish this last breath here before you gently press the ground and slowly lift your torso off of the props. All right, we're going to arrive in a nice heart opening, hip opening, restorative pose. So grab your blanket or towel that you could turn into a very long roll, just like this long maybe, and be intentional with rolling it tightly and smoothly so that it's going to be comfortable for you and supporting your hips. All right, so once you have this thick rope, I'm going to set it aside just for a moment. Let's set up the blocks that are going to support your heart opener. One block at the very, very back end. And you might start with the tallest height. Unless you're feeling pretty open in your chest, then you could go ahead and make an equal sign out of the blocks, both medium height. Otherwise, tallest height for the back of the head is the mildest version. And then use your pillow again, just like you did for the spinal twist, and drape it right on top of the pillows. It'll add more comfort, tracing the midline of your mat. And then have a seat so that your pelvis is just lightly grazing the pillow. Now bringing your legs in bound angle pose, bend your knees apart, bring the soles of your feet together. So this rope that you created, we're gonna cross the middle of it right on top of your inner ankles. Then you'll tuck the end of the rope underneath your outer thighs. Now you could make it thicker if your rope is really long, and it will support your hips a lot more if your hips are feeling tight, or you can make it thinner if your knees comfortably open very wide. Now this kind of bind feeling is like when you snuggle a baby and you wrap the newborn up really tightly, and then it feels really protected and nurtured so that it can relax. And then as you lie back, feel into the closer block. It should be supporting just underneath your shoulder blades, allowing your chest to lift up and your shoulders to rest back lightly onto the pillow. And then the back of your head is supported by the second block, in which you could adjust the height. If you want even more lift in the chest and you already have an equal sign of the two blocks, you could tilt the block that's under your head lower to the lowest height. And so the chest will really be the highest point here. And then as you release the arms down by your sides, it might feel good to turn your palms to face up, thus rotating your upper arm bones externally to further open the front of your shoulders. Then allow a moment to slide your shoulder blades both down your back ribs. Feel the length in the back of your neck as you open your throat too. Notice symmetry in the left hip weighing towards the ground, with the right hip releasing to the earth. Feel your belly soften, your lower back muscles relax. Let's take 3 deep breaths centered at your heart space, middle of your chest. So when you're ready, breathe in very slowly into the center of your chest. Feel your collarbones widen, your sternum softly lift. Hold the breath in at the very top. And as you exhale to your lips, melt your body into the ground, into the props. Take it all the way out to empty. Then start the next new breath. Very slowly inhaling at the center of your chest. Let the breath expand anywhere your body needs it from there. Maybe down to the pit of your belly. Maybe into your head if you're feeling very cloudy there. Hold it in for a few seconds. And through your mouth, release it all the way out to empty. Feel your body submit to the weight of gravity. Last time on your own, a deep inhalation from the heart center. Holding it in for a few seconds before you hear it completely release. And with the release of your breath, releasing any more effort you feel in your body, including the control of your breathing. Feel comfort and stillness as you allow this posture to invite you to drop in to your heart. Lying for one more minute here in Shavasana. Continue your awareness of your body breathing naturally. And if you feel alert enough to stay in the position you're lying in, if you're opting to stay the additional 5 minutes for silent meditation, then feel free to stay still. Otherwise, I invite you to press your hands on your left and right sides on the ground and either slowly lift your torso forward and up or turn to one side off the blocks in a fetal position. Gradually finding a comfortable seat. Choose the style of meditation that you're more accustomed to. And if you don't have one in mind, you might simplify it to attending or observing the feeling of your breath, a subtle sense perception. Setting the timer now for 5 minutes. bring closure to the practice. And you might join your palms at your heart as you bow in. Taking the energy that you've cultivated here in your practice into where you go next, into what or whom you will interact with next. Let's close with the chant of Om, the sound that reminds us of how we are all interconnected. Take a deep breath. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.